murakoze cyane abahimbyi mukomeze mushiremo imbaraga mukomeze mugazore impano zanyu
and expand your talents.
agatangaho nanone reka turabikora nyuma kwiyegereza abantu bamwe babashitsi bari mu nzira ariko dukomeze gahunda zacu.
Let's proceed with the program.
Reka twakire president wa Gatumba Foundation.
Let's welcome the leader of Gatumba Foundation
kugira ngo atambutse ijambo ryiwe.
Banyakubahwa muteraniye hano,
honorables gathering here,
bayobozi b'abakongomani bahagarariye abakongomani hano muri komite yabo,
leaders of Congolese leading Congolese here,
bishop, apostles, pastors,
our bishops, apostles and pastors,
banyamulengekazi,
Banyamulenge and Banyamulenge women,
former minister Biganza, nyakubahwa uhagarariye ubwoko bw'abanyamulenge mitwarite Gakunzi,
the leader of Banyamulenge community in Kampala, Gakunzi.
Tubahaye impori.
We condole you.
Turabakiriye muri muhango wacu wo kwibuka bacu bazize ko basa ku nshuro ya 20.
We welcome you in this ceremony of commemorating our Banyamulenge.
Ufite insanganyamatsiko
with a theme
ivuga ngo imyaka 20 y'akarengane,
20 years of injustice
no kudahabwa ubutabera
and the impunity,
mwizina ry'abacika
denial of justice. In the name of survivors,
mwizina ry'abacika cumu bibumbiye mu muryango wa GRCF ari wo Gatumba Refugee Survival Foundation,
in the name of the survivors in that name,
no mwizina ry'abacika cumu bandi bo mu turere dutandukanye,
and other survivors from different districts,
turimo Kalemi,
from Kalemi,
Kirumba,
Kinshasa,
Kindu,
Bukavu,
Bibogobogo,
Minembwe, Fizi, Uvira, Nganji,
ndetse n'ahandi hatandukanye mu turere twa Kongo,
and other different areas of Congo.
Dushimiye abantu bose
We thank all people
bari muri kino cyiciro
who are in this place.
Turizera ko turi bana muri gahunda zacu zose z'icunamo.
We believe we will be together until the end,
dukomeze duhesha abacu agaciro,
so that we give value to ours we lost.
Banyamulenge ni mukomere.
Stay strong, Banyamulenge.
Imana izatugeza kuzo twifuza.
God will escort us until what we desire.
Ariyo mahoro arambye.
Eternal peace.
No kutazongera gutotezwa ndetse no kwicwa rubozo.
And not again being persecuted and justified.
Bibiliya igitabo cya Yobu 14 no kuri 7.
In Job 14:7,
haravuga ngo erega hari ibyiringiro ko iyo igiti gitemwe cyongera kigashibuka.
There is a hope whenever a tree is cut, again it grows.
Cya giti batemye mu Gatumba ubu cyarashibutse.
The tree they cut in Gatumba again grew.
Abana bato basizwe ubu nyine ubu barakuze barashaka ubu bafite ababo.
The young children who are orphans by then also have their families.
Wa mutekano batwimye mu Gatumba,
the security they denied us,
ndetse n'ahandi hose muri Kongo mu turere dutandukanye,
somewhere else in DRC in different districts.
Ubu dufite abayobozi muri babana.
Today we have leaders among the children who survived.
Babacika cumu,
those survivors
barize umutekano,
protecting,
ndetse bari mu bihugu bikomeye ku isi,
and in different great nations around the globe.
Za nkomere zakomeretse mu Gatumba,
the wounded ones in Gatumba,
zibura bazivura,
and lacked medication.
Ubu n'abaganga n'abadokteri.
They are now doctors in different great nations around the globe.
Abo turibo uyu munsi,
who we are today,
ni ishusho itanga icyizere cy'ejo hazaza.
It is an image of hope for tomorrow.
Nubwo inzira yo gushaka ubutabera yabaye ndende ku bwoko bwacu bw'abanyamulenge,
though the path to justice is long to us Banyamulenge,
ariko tuzayisoza.
But we shall end it.
Abakoze ibyaha bafatwe,
the perpetrators will be caught,
ndetse babiryozwe,
and even punished for that.
Nagiraga ngo mvuge hejuru impamvu zo kwibuka bukeya.
I want to talk about commemorating briefly.
Impamvu twibuka no kugira ngo,
the reason to why we commemorate is to,
impamvu twibuka nuko abacu twabahambye mu mitima yacu.
The reason why we commemorate is for we buried ours in our hearts.
impamvu twibuka nuko tubagendana buri munsi.
The reason we commemorate is we walk with them daily.
impamvu twibuka nuko tubaho ubwacu tukaba no ku bwabo.
The reason we commemorate is for us living and living for their sake.
impamvu twibuka nuko dukora inshingano zacu tugakora n'izabo.
The reason we commemorate is we fulfill our duties and then do theirs.
impamvu twibuka nuko ngo twigishe uruzaro rwacu na generasiyo yacu n'abana bacu tubigisha amateka yacu.
The reason we commemorate is to teach our children and our 4 generations the history of Banyamulenge.
rimwe na rimwe niyo twibuka tuba dukora documentaire kugira ngo izarebwe na generasiyo yacu.
Sometimes when we commemorate, we are making a documentary to be foreseen by our generations to come.
ni ngombwa ko twibuka kandi twirwanaho
So it is worthy to remember and again fighting for ourselves
mu buryo ubwo ari bwo bwose.
in each and every possible way.
twibuke twiyubaka
Let us commemorate as again rebuilding ourselves
kandi duharanira ubutabera bwacu.
and fighting for our justice.
murakoze.
Thank you.
I'm a refugee of Burundi and Uvira almost every year.
uriya munsi uragera turahunga kimwe n'iyindi minsi.
That day reached and we shifted at other days.
Twari tumenyereye guhunga ntidutinde tugasubirayo.
We were used to shifting and we did delay, we go back.
No kutwica ntitwatinze nyine batwice n'ubundi buca dusubirayo.
Even those who killed us when we are preparing to go back.
Umunsi bwira dupfa
The day they killed us, on the same day,
abategetsi bari baje kutureba barimo natwo uco gihe twari dufite vice president
by that time we had a vice president and they had come to visit us.
n'abamuyomba bari abategetsi Bukavu.
And him also was the leader in Bukavu.
Delegation yaje bari benshi baje kuducura.
The delegation which came had come to take us back home.
Hari abantu bapfuye binjiye mu mazu ubwo ngubwo bataranarya.
Some people died when they had hardly entered in houses before even eating,
Bari bagiye gutega abategetsi.
when they are from welcoming the leaders.
Uko zagenze rero nuko.
What happened then?
Habaye saa 4
It was at 10,
yari buriho nk'iminota mikeya gutya.
few minutes to.
Mu busanzwe twari tumenyereye abantu baza kwibinka
Usually we were used to people who come to steal cows.
bakaza bakarasa.
They come and shoot.
Ibyo nabyo byabaye kimwe mu byakontribuye urupfu rwacu twese.
That also contributed to the death of people.
Igihe amasasu yatangiye tuja kubimenya abantu baba barirutse hari hariho ukuntu ko kwiba.
When the guns started shooting, we had that opportunity to run cause.
Ariko amasasu yaravuze abantu baravuga ngo ni babarundi baje kwibinka.
But as they heard it, they said those are the Burundians who have come to steal cows.
Ugeze aho mwari ko muraswa ukabona umuntu hejuru yawe hagutera grenade hejuru yawe.
Up to the time when they were shooting us and you see a person in front of you.
Uko turasa rero
That shooting,
hari harimo abarundi inkambi ko zari zubatse abanyamurenge twese twari tubaharuguru.
the way camps were built, all Banyamulenge were together.
Hepfo hakaba abarundi bari ko bataha bava za Tanzania baje iwabo.
Opposite were Burundians who were coming from Tanzania going to their home.
Hakabamwo n'abanyamurenge amafamiye atandatu.
There were 6 families of Banyamulenge.
Iyo nkambi yo hepfo ntawayikoze.
That lower camp was never touched.
Hapfuye umupapa umwe yitwa Ndakanigwa.
There died only one man called Ndakanigwa.
Amasasu yaravuze arimo ya haruguru Banyamurenge arirukanka ngo asange abuzukuru byo hepfo.
They shot up in the camp of Banyamulenge, then he ran going to see the grandchildren.
Bamurasira aho ngo hagati y'izo nkambi.
Then they shot him in the midst of those 2 camps.
Ibintu byaho ngaho mwene data araza kunyunganira.
He will contribute about that.
Mwazamenya uko mwabo habaye.
One knows how his home was.
Hanze hari hagoye ntawahabonye.
Outside was too difficult, no one saw it.
Ndaza kubabwira nabo nabonye hanze bakeya.
I'll only tell you a few of them that I saw.
Inkambi abari hangare isatuye inzira hagati.
The camp was divided into 2.
Ku muryango hepfo w'iwacu hari harimo famiye ya Zaroti umuhungu w'abasidi.
The lower camp had a family of Zaroti.
Agakurikirwa n'umupapa w'umupasiteri Rutekereza nagira mwese muramuzi.
He was followed by the pastor Rutekereza.
Haruguru hakaba kapitene Bitati mu muziga.
Then upside side there was Captain Bitati.
Muri right yacu
In the right hand side
hari hatangira undi mugabo ngo ni Gasosi wo mu Bijumba.
there was Kasosi from Bijombo.
Hagakurikira uwundi musore ngo ni Michel.
There followed another youth called Michelle.
natwe tukaba haruguru.
Then we were upside.
Uko aduye yaje
The way the enemy came,
nitwe twari duheka ku nkambi ijana n'uruhande rurora nimba harabazi mu gatumba ruja vugizo niyo yaduye yajabukiye
There was a place going to Vugizo. It's where the enemy came from.
vugizo ni boda y'u Burundi na Congo uca kuri Kiriba.
It is a border of Burundi and Congo through Kiriba.
Yanje nari umudwani ndahazi narahakoreye.
I stayed there and worked from there too.
Niyo yaduye wese yajabukiye.
It's all that the enemy came from.
Ngo aseruke aserukira ku nkambi yacu.
Entering, he entered at our camp.
Umuntu wa mbere yarashe umwana w'umuhungu ngo ni Daniel.
The first person who was shot was called Daniel.
Yari umwana uhaye uhaguruka.
He was a young child who still stands.
Mama wiwe n'uwo wundi mukamishele bari mu mwacu.
The mother and that Michael were in our house.
Uwo mugore nyahoze araduha umuntu waramuhamagara unineza ngo barashe Dani.
Then the sister called her and said they have shot Danny.
Mama wiwe ahita yirukanga.
The mother ran.
Ubwo yari kwamuhamagara
By that time she was being called.
kera bamwinjiza bayonete y'imbunda.
When they have already entered the bayonet
Niryo
of
jambo
the
gusa
gun,
yavuze ubundi kwako twumva gusa hagira ngo aha.
that's the only word she said.
Nyahoze n'umwana yarabyaye rimwe yari umukobwa muto.
She was a young lady who had just given birth one.
N'umunyabyinsho mu Marundi.
She's a Munyabyinshe.
Yagiye habatuka babwira nabi ku mwana wiwe na murumuna we bishe.
She went telling them badly because of the child they had killed and the sister.
We baramutemaguye bari imbere.
She was just cut into pieces
Atarinjiramo.
before entering.
Urya wundi twari dusigaranye nibagiwe izina ry'uwo nyahoze twari tunaturanye cyo tumiza nguma kwibuka amazina yabo.
I have forgotten the one we are together,
Ariko ni mukamishele.
but she's a wife to Michelle.
Nawe ibwo ngubwo twumva abana bo kwa Gasosi bavugije induru.
We had the children of Kasosi crying.
Umugabo wanje yari yinjiye ubwo aba bakobwa bombi bari baramukazi banje bari baje kureba umugabo wanje.
My husband entered because those girls were my sister-in-laws.
Arasohoka avuga ati nibiki bibaye.
When he went out asking what had happened,
Bitekereza aravuga ngo
lied down.
ukuyu wo mwana barashe wa mbere.
Apart from that first child they
I
shot,
think ko bumsha umugabo wanje yari asohotse.
I think you've heard that my husband had got out.
Bahise baza iwacu.
They already came to our house.
Mutera grenade mu mutwe.
They shot him a
It's okay.
grenade.
Try.
It's okay.
Bamuteye grenade mu mutwe.
They shot him in the head.
Irasandara. Irapasuka umutwe umuntu ntawo bamwe umuntu ni inyama.
The head busted.
Iyo grenade niyo yamfashe ukuguru.
That grenade is the one which shot my leg.
Ndanabyuka ndicara ndamureba.
Then I woke up and looked at him.
Tushobora n'umusatsi ntawubona.
You cannot even see the hair.
Yari amaraso gusa arunze.
It was just a flow of blood.
Noneho ngira ngo ndebe abana abakobwa banje bakuru bombi barahari bari bahungiye ruguru.
I had two daughters and they were not there by then.
Nari mfite abana bahungu nari mzayi wa kane bahungu bane bakurikirana.
I had given birth to the 4 boys.
Noneho negera abana.
I came across children.
Umwana uwo nari nkurikije yitwaga Didier.
The one who was followed by the last one
Bose
was called
umujyi ariko
Didier.
baryamisha
You would make them sleep.
bakarasira mu ihema hano inyuma.
They could shoot behind the...
Isasu rigafata bena.
Then the bullet would get behind.
Umutwe w'umuntu urapfundikiye.
And the head is closed.
Uza wubuka.
It has like a
Ufunduka mu
cover.
Kenyamurenge.
It is just like an open.
Namubonye umutwe ufunduka.
I just saw my child's head open.
Oya nabitiranyisha. Uwo ni Inosa uwari ukuri kwiga kabiri.
That is Innocent who was followed the second time.
Uwo wundi we birara abantu bararaswa kabisa karibu gushira barutekereza babitati.
After shooting a lot of people,
Uwo mwana uwo Didier nari mvuze arambaza atari niki beba turasira mama.
Didier asked me, why have they shot us, mommy?
Nari ntaramusubiza nawe rurinjira.
I had not yet answered him and they immediately shot him.
Nawe uwo mutwe urubuka.
Also the head was like
Kandi
opened.
nyuma yuko nyine nuko nta kindi kizakibaho.
That
Nuko
is
bariko
common.
batsifura. Habaho igituma nzavuga njewe ndanabihamya ko ntasazi ibiri zashize.
I testify this that not 2 hours which were complete.
Ko wa mugabo navuze Gasosi
And the other man that we said Kasosi,
yaragira umwana w'umuhungu umwe ngo nibahoza.
he had only one son called Dibahoza.
Araza yirukankaza mwacu.
He came running in our house.
Asanga nanje umuhungu wanje ni wari mukuru kuba bukurikira abakobwa bombi ari iruhande rwanje.
Then he found when my son who follows 2 daughters is by my side.
Barangana baraniganya aravuga ati soso tukimbiye.
Then he said, let's run.
ihema ryo haruguru ryari bamwo umuzehe kwa Gishoma
The upper camp were having the family of Gishoma
no kwa Shemu n'umuhungu wa Revera Mudagiri
and Shem, the son of Reverend Mudagiri.
bari benshi ryari ritangiye gusha
It had started burning.
bahoza zahaye avuga ati kera batangiye gutwika
When they are saying they have started
mukuri
burning,
nje sinari nzi ko ihema ryosha rigatwika abantu
I didn't know that shooting can be burnt and burn people.
uruhinja rw'ibyumweru bibiri nanabyariye
I had a newly born child of 2 weeks.
barambwira ati tugenda abwira mwego ni mugende
They told me to go and I said, you just go.
barirukanka bombi mumva ko twari duheka mu nguni yo haruguru iheka umuryango ugenda hanze gutyo
We were at the first,
ngo bagere ku
Come.
muryango hariya
when they reached at the other side,
abariho barasira bahoza apfira
that's where they shot Bahot.
umuhungu wanje nawe baramurasa uhera ahangaha mu rukengerero
My son also was shot
kugeza aha haja kuja mu ntege
from the waist up to the knees.
ariko utarageza ku munsi itakiza kimwica
But if you have not yet reached your time, you can't die.
aragera kuri ya nkambi ya barundi
He continued up to the camp of the Burundi.
kiza kintangaza
What amazes,
twoshaka tworeka kuvuga ubwoko
though if possible, we wouldn't speak about the nationality.
twagaza tumaze se n'umunyamurengo wakubaye ngo ni mufulero
They would say, is that a Mnyamlenge who did? And say, no, it's a
urumva
Mfulero.
umufurero cyo ariko avuga barawo barundi nyine barawo
Oh, they were just Burundi and said it was a Mfulero.
naba ariko intambara yabaye nisha abantu bose tubaba bazikiriho
Though it happened, people didn't know what is happening.
bahungira hepfo aje amarobine yaraba mu rufunzo
They went where the taps were.
uwo mumama aramubwira naramushakishije navuye hano Kigali 2019 nja kumushakisha mu Gatumba ndamubura
2019, I went to look for that lady, but I didn't see her.
amubwira namuhereza amazi yo kunywa aramubwira nta amazi nguheza ninguheza amazi urapfa
Then the lady said, if I give you water, you will immediately die.
umwana aza atubwira ngo yari afite agatenge ahetsemo umwana wiwe
The child told us that that woman had a lasso where he had carried the baby.
arakamukuramo aramuhambira
Then got that lasso and tied the son.
bararana muri ico gishanga
They slept together in the swamp.
kugeza mu gitondo amuzana amabasaje
Up to in the morning when the buses came, she brought
uwo
him back.
mumama ahari hose imana izamugirire
May
neza
God bless that lady wherever she is.
naragerageje natanze n'amafaranga mu Gatumba
I tried and even impressed someone.
barabanza barambesha umugore umwe
One lady lied to me,
ariko tubikurikirane tusanga siwe tiyabimenya
when following up, we found out
imana
she's not the one.
izamuhemba
God will bless her.
rero muri abo bantu twari tubana
Among the people that we were together,
rutekereza yari afite abana barindwi
Lutekereza had 7 children.
nawe n'umugore bakaba 9
Him and the wife, they were totally 9.
hapfuye abana batandatu nawe
There died 6 children and him.
hasigara umugore we Sideriya na Nkingi
There remains Deri and King.
na gatanu abantu bebura indege iki kiriyo cyabereye Arizona Phoenix
This commemoration is in Arizona, Phoenix.
King yabyaye umwana wa gatandatu
King has given birth to the 6th child.
abahungu 4 n'abakobwa 3
4 boys and 3 girls.
umukurikira ni kwa kapitene Bitati
The follower is Captain Bitat.
yari afite abana 5 nawe n'umugore bakaba 7
Had 5 children, him and the wife, they were totally 7.
yarapfuye n'umwana w'umukobwa n'umuhungu
He died with a son and a daughter.
hasigara abakobwa 2 na nyina
There remained 2 girls and the wife.
abanyamurenga ntibazavuga abakobwa barashatse bafite abana
You don't normally mention girls, but they are married, they have their
ariko
children.
umuhungu wiwe nawe afite abahungu 2 n'abakobwa 3
The son has had 3 children, 2 sons and 1.
abakobwa ba Gasosi barashatse bafite abana
The children of Gasosi are married, they have their own children.
Michelle yarashatse umugore niwe wapfuye n'umwana umwe afite abandi muri Afurika
Michelle married, has children.
mwacu papa wabo n'abana 2 barapfuye
My husband and 2 children died.
ubu mfite abuzukuru 6
I have my 6 grandchildren,
mfite abuzukuru b'abahungu 2 n'abakobwa
2 grandsons and 2 granddaughters.
bako ndagenda mixa n'amashimwe no
I'm
kubabwira
even
ngo ntimucike
mixing
intege
the testimonies and say, stay strong.
igiti iyo gitemwe gisubira gushima
When the tree is cut, it again grows
kibazo
up.
ni kimwe
The problem is only one,
kudahuza zoza ngaruka aho ngaho
misunderstanding.
abandi bari mu yandi mazu
People who are in other different houses,
nabo nuko byabagenda hari uwari gusigara n'umwana umwe
it also happened like that. One was
nawe
remaining one
yarashatse
child,
yarabyaye
And that person also married and bare children.
kandi ntiyabyariye muri uriya aduyi watwishe
And didn't bear children in among the enemies who killed
ngo
us.
abure icarya wenda aduye ahaye amureba.
All failed to get what to eat because of the enemy.
Iyo mvuga ngo Amerika ni mu isi nk'iyindi ariko hariho ibintu byayo tutazinzi numva twabigeraho muri Afrika.
If I say America is just a world like others, but it has its own things that I don't think Africa could reach.
Bafite abantu uzureba uko babayeho nuko bafashwe wewe gusa kubera nyine imyaka yacu amayemuso akagusubiza inyuma ukavuga ngo yabari yabagiye Imana yogize bakarunguruka bakareba umuntu basize abana afite nuko bameze.
They have their way of caring for their children. When someone looks at it, feels that emotion and say, though if it could be of a good chance, and these people see how their children were groomed up.
Ubwo rero abana nibo naringezeho namaze kubona basohotse umuriro ubutugezeho.
Those I saw the children getting out, I saw the fire coming onto us.
Umwana w'umukobwa wari iruhande rwacu muri uwo wapfuye umuhungu umwana wa Kanyabitabo.
The child of Kanyabitabo
arampamagara ati dada ngwino ufashe.
Said, sister, come and help me.
Ndagaruka kumureba nta muntu wari uriho n'utarapfuye iryo joro nta wari uhari.
Even that person who had not died was not seen.
Guhagarara gusukikubita hasi nta kintu kigukozeho.
You would stand and just fall down without anything touching you.
Sinibutse no gutora habe nikuvure ngo mushire muri ngafite.
Remember, I had a newly born baby, but I didn't remember to get even a lesson.
Nafasha nezeza ukubako ngo mukuru ure gucyara umwana muto.
I pulled that lady the hand.
Nanje mwikubitaho bari bamurasha amaguru.
I also fell because she was short the legs.
Ndagerageza birananira ndamusigara shaha yamiriza.
And I failed, but she was burnt.
Kapitene Bitati abariko aramiriza.
Captain Bitati was also screaming.
Ati abantu basigaye muno ni mugende aha yashana wahayavuze ndu.
He was saying that people who are inside here, please get out.
Sideria mukarutekereza yari yahiye n'umukobwa wo kapitene.
Sideria and the daughter to captain had already died.
Bariko banjobaye bakamba basohoka.
They were burnt while trying to get out.
Nari muzimaga sinari nazi nuko narashwe nazo ndaza kubigeraho.
I was just alive and looking at everything.
Ubwo ngubwo umuraro utugezeho ndasohoka.
That time when fire came across us, I just went out.
Shika mu nkambi dukurikira yari irimo umugabo w'abanyabyinshi witwa Rukamirwa itinke w'abagigi.
I think that person's camp where I hid was called Rukamirwa.
Iso abamarehemo ndori.
The father of the late They had shot his son called Bisetsa. He said, Mama Soso, don't pass by me, just pull me. I pulled her, but unfortunately I failed and she was burnt. When I reached in front, I found where women were shot. One is of Basinzira, another one. That is. They had shot them, even today they are lame. A person is too big. To see the waist is short, there comes a very big hole. I reached there, they were with a son. They told me to give them water, but I didn't have any. I didn't know if they give a person who was short water can easily die. I said, let me go, if I get water, I'll bring it back to you. But I didn't remember it. I had another man calling me. It was burning to the extent that a person can easily trace the other. He was an old man called Intoni. I came back and came across to him. They had shot him on the head. So the head was like a pipe. Even now,
I represent my household, my heart too. Beyond that, I'm a Burundian. So I'm glad and thankful for reminding me the day like this one, the one I know too. What I can tell you is again to condole you. Praise be to God for the words we have heard here.
kugira umuvugizi n'ijambo rikomeye.
Having the spokesperson who is great, or the preacher,
Rero nivyo nk'umuntu araremerwa akababara
so it is worthy for a person is painful.
kandi ivyo twabonye ndetse twese
What we
nibibabaje.
saw all together,
Nibibabaje.
it is indeed painful.
Ivyo mwabonye nk'impunzi zari zihunguye i Burundi
What you saw as refugees who had took refuge in Burundi,
mugasanga mwabuze aho muhungira,
and we failed to get where to run from.
burya ni n'igitutsi ku Barundi.
Indeed, it is an abuse to the Burundians,
Ariko mugira imbabazi.
but have mercy.
N'iwacu amabi yarabonetse kandi akiriko.
Such anguish also took place in our home and is again continuing.
Imana ihoze abababaye bose,
May God condole all those who are in pain,
ibaha ivyizigiro
give them hope,
kuko nitanga ivyizigiro,
because it is the one who gives out hope.
ariko yongere igirira imbabazi
Again, be merciful.
Ababoshwe n'ikibi,
The perpetrators,
ibashoboze guhinduka ndetse
and enable them to change,
kuko ibyiza byo gukora biriho.
because good things are there to do.
Nuko numva ntorondogora,
I feel I can't go beyond.
dukomezanye,
Stay strong.
hanyuma ntawumarira Imana. Nkuko umuvyeyi yacitse ku icumu yatuyagiye,
As the parent, the survivor, told us,
twumva ubutumwa butari buke bw'ivyizigiro,
we have had the message of hope.
nuko nyene ntawumarira Imana ko ntawe ari umuntu atari Imana.
So that's it. It's upon God, because He's the one who created mankind.
Nuko Imana ishishikare kutumurikira
So may God keep on revealing Himself to us
mu nyimfato zo kwigisha ababi gukira.
in all possible ways to teach the bad to change.
Imana itugirire neza.
May God do us well.
Mutama wacu arakoze cyane,
Our elder, thank you so much.
ni inshuti yacu,
He is our friend,
kandi dukomeze kwihangana twese.
and we keep on staying strong all together.
Nimunemere rero twakire umutumirwa wacu mukuru,
So allow me welcome our chief guest,
Honorable Biganza,
Honorable Biganza,
kugira ngo atugezeho ijambo ry'ihumure.
to give us a condoling word.
banyakubahwa
Honorables,
bayobozi b'amatorero,
leaders of the churches,
nyakubahwa muyobozi wa mituwarite
the leader of the community,
wafatikanije na Gatumba utegura iki cyicaro,
who collaborated with Gatumba to organize this
ugategura n'ibiganiro abashatse bakurikiye.
and organized the talks of the married.
Shimira umuvandimwe Muhoza,
I thank our brother Mohoza.
ibivugwa hano nta bisha birimo,
There is no any new thing being talked about here,
usibye ubuhamya bw'umubyeyi,
apart from the testimony of our mother here.
ku ibindi n'ibiriya byose byabereye muri biriya.
Other, it is what you saw in that camp.
Ndagushimiye ko kubonye.
I thank you for having seen you.
Uyu ni umwana wanje, ni umwana wa mushiki wanje,
She is my niece.
hari hashize igihe kirekire.
We had taken long without seeing each other.
Yabuze abantu mu Gatumba,
She lost hers in Gatumba
ariko yabuze n'abandi Kinshasa.
and lost others in Kinshasa.
Ni ukuvuga ngo impfu zabaye karande,
It means death became like an inheritance.
abantu bapfira n'aho batopfiriye.
People die even in places not worthy to be killed
Musaza we
from.
yagiye Kinshasa ari mu wanje avuye,
She was from Kinshasa, from my home.
nubwo namuherutse sinongeye kumubona.
That's when I last saw her until today.
Komere.
But stay strong.
Ndashimira Fondation Gatumba
I thank Gatumba Foundation
yadutumiye,
that invited us,
ariko cyane ikaduha uyu mwanya
mostly gave us this time,
kugira ngo tugire icyo tuvuga.
so as to act out something.
Zakenera ngo abantu bareke kubohwa na protocol.
I want people not to be covered up by the protocols,
ariko bababazwe nuko abantu baza bagenda batumvise.
but be paining because people go away without listening from anything else.
Amagambo uyu mubyeyi yavuze nagahoma munwa.
The parents, the word the parent says, it is bad.
Nta mbaraga zobaho hatari ubumwe.
There is no power without unity.
Tibishoboka.
It is impossible.
Tuza tubyirengagiza,
We just don't give it an
ukabisiga
eye.
ukuntu,
We beautify it somehow.
ukabyita uko mushaka,
You name them how you want,
ariko biza biguma bikaba birya.
but instead they became the same.
Tibiza byoroshwa nuko mutabivuze.
They are not easy because you didn't say.
Biza biguma bikaba munga,
They keep on eating up you
bikabamara imbaraga,
and weaken you
bikabahindura inzererezi.
and make you wanderers.
Sinzi igituma abantu bataza bakunda kubivuga.
I don't know how people don't like to mention it.
Sinsubira mu magambo cyane kuko nabonye basoma cyane.
They have
Impungenge
read a lot.
ko abantu batumvise.
So I won't repeat.
Ubu bwicanyi duhaye twibuka.
The massacre we are remembering.
Bamwe bita genocide.
Others, some call it a genocide.
Abandi bakazita massacre.
Others call it a massacre.
Abandi bakabyita ukundi.
Others, different names.
Haracyari ibyo bibazo.
There are still those problems.
Kandi ntibiri mu mitwe y'abatwishe.
And they are not in the heads of those who killed us.
Mu mitwe yacu twenyine.
They are in our heads, us alone.
Nabonyeho abantu b'abagabo kandi b'amazina azwi namwe mwese.
I saw where men of big names recognized by you.
Duhurira mu nama bari bagiye kurwana bavuga ngo hari uwavuze ngo ijambo genocide.
They were once going to fight because someone had mentioned the word genocide.
Kuko badashaka ko byitwa gutyo.
Because they never wanted for this thing to be called genocide.
Kuko badashaka ko tuvuga ko twishwe kariya kageni.
They don't want us to mention how we were killed
Kubera kurwanira inyungu runaka.
because of fighting for certain countries.
Uyu muhango ngarukamwaka
So this ceremony, this yearly ceremony,
iminsi 13 y'ukwezi k'umunani
13th of August,
abanyamurenge bose b'umutima
the Banyamulenge of heart,
aho batuye
wherever they stay,
baza baterana
they gather,
bakibuka
commemorate,
bakunamira badusize
and bow down, give due respect to those who left us,
bakishakamo imbaraga
and look upon power in them,
ariko bahagaranira nuko ubutabera buba.
and again fighting for justice to prevail.
Igituma ubwicanyi bukwiye kuza bugarukwaho
The reason why this massacre is supposed to be repeatedly
nuko
spoken about,
bufite umwihariko wabwo.
because it has its speciality.
N'ubwa mbere mu mateka ya Kongo
It is for the first time in the history of Congo,
k'igihugu cyacu
as our country,
aho abicanyi
where the perpetrators
bakurikira abantu iyo bahungiye
follow people to where they fled from
bakabicirayo,
and kill them from there.
bakabica ku mugaragaro,
They kill them broad daylight.
isi kabibona,
The world sees
amahanga kabibona.
and the nationwide sees.
Ibi byakorewe mu Gatumba
This that happened in Gatumba,
ushobora kubishyira muri kategori
I might categorize it
y'icyo bashobora kwita mu rurimi rw'igifaransa
as they call it in French,
ngo ni crime no qualifié, n'ibyaha bidafite inyito.
they are criminals that has no name.
Nicyo gituma abantu bahuzagurika mu kuvuga iki n'iki n'iki.
That's why people are not sure of what to say and what to leave.
Ushobora kwica umuntu
You might kill a person,
ariko gukurikirana n'uburyo wamwishe
but following up how you
na
kill that person
circumstances zose birimo
and all the ways that are involved
bikitwa amazina atandukanye,
and be called various names.
kandi ayo mazina atandukanye
And those various names
agakurura n'ibihano bitandukanye.
also pulls different punishments.
Ni ukuvuga ngo igihe hazaba qualification nyayo,
It means when there is a real qualification of a name,
inyito yo kwemeza ko ubwicanyi bwa Gatumba ari genocide,
a name to accept that what happened in Gatumba is genocide,
icyo gihe tuzaba dukoze imitwe y'intoki ku butabera.
by then we will be touching soon the justice.
Nuko niko bimeze.
That is how it is.
Ibi bintu babivuze byaguyemo abanyamurenge, byaguyemo n'ababembe.
They have said about this, Banyamulenge lost their lives as also the Babembe.
Nubwo bitansanze mu nkambi,
Though it never found me in a camp,
nari ngize iminsi 3 uvuye muri iyo kambi.
I had spent 3 days out of that camp.
Twagiye turi delegation tugiye gusura abantu mu kambi.
We went there as a delegation to visit people in that camp.
Twakirwa n'umugabo wari president wa community aho.
We were received the man who was the president of the community,
Witwa Amosi,
who was called Amos.
umuhungu wa Mukiza Mazimpaka w'abasho.
He's a son to Mazimpaka of that clan.
Turaganira umwanya muto.
We
dukora
talked.
ibyo twari gukora birarangira.
We talked briefly and then left.
Dutangira kuganira n'abantu nyine mu buryo
We
busanzwe.
started also communicating to people usually.
Umuntu bavuze witwa Nyamusore Karaha.
The person they have said Nyamusore Karaha,
Yarankuru yanshira hiri.
he pulled me aside then.
Ubwo mu kirere hari kwazunguruka indege y'akajugujugu ya gisirikare.
So the military helicopter was moving around
Haja ku mupaka wa Kongo n'u Burundi.
near the border of Congo and Burundi.
Mbabaza impamvu zabyo,
They asked the reason.
barambwira ngo hari ibikorwa bya gisirikare bihaye bikorerwa hariya.
They said there is a military operation around.
Muri ibyo biganiro
In those talks,
Nyamusore arambwira ngo
Nyamusore told me,
arambwira ngo ni ukuri bazatwishyira muri ino kambi.
he said, truly they will kill us in this camp.
Tuzashirira muri ino kambi.
We will perish in this camp.
Ndamubaza ngo ese bitewe n'iki?
What is the reason to say that?
Arambwira ngo kandi bizakorwa
He told me it will be done
harimo uruhari
when there is a role
rw'abayobozi bamwe b'inzego zo hasi b'abarundi.
of leaders of the Burundians low-level councils of administration.
Ambwira uwari uwa shefu wa zone ya
He
Gatumba.
told me one of the chief of the zone of Gatumba,
Yari umuntu wo muri CNDD-FDD.
he was a person of that particular party.
Arambwira ngo uriya muntu ntiyoreka gutanga inzira
Say,
y'abazaza kutwica.
really, that person can't fail to give away to kill us, who will come to kill us.
Mubaza aherereye ikigo cya gisirikare arakinereka haruguru.
He showed me the direction where the military camp was.
Arambwira atari ko abarundi ni igisirikare kiri classique kigendera ku mategeko cyane.
He told me that the Burundian army is a classical army which
Ushobora
follows the rules.
kwishirwa hano batarabona itegeko ryo gusohoka ntibasohoke.
We might be killed here before the order of rescuing us comes.
Bukeye bavuze ngo abantu bapfuye.
So early in the morning when they announced the death of people,
Umuntu nabajije wa mbere narabajije gusinya musora aracyahari.
I asked, is Nyamusore still alive?
Barambwira ngo yapfanye n'umugore n'abana bose.
He has died with the entire family.
Umuryango wazi.
So the whole family perished away.
Buri iyo turi muri bajya amajwi yiwaza agaruka.
So when we are in this ceremony, his voice comes back to me
Kibuka ibyo yambwiye.
and remembers what he told me.
Ubu bwicanyi rero bumaze kuba.
So the massacre took place.
Ngira ngo mweneja mu by'ubutabera no gushaka ibyo nibyo
So
byihuta
I
cyane.
want to go to the
Amateka
session of
bayavuze
justice.
abandi
They have talked about the history.
Bumaze kuba
After it happening,
hari abayobozi banyuranye b'ibihugu bitandukanye.
there were various leaders of different countries.
Hari nyakubahwa perezida w'u Burundi Ndayizeye.
There was His Excellency Ndayizeye, the former,
cyakiriye impunzi kandi zipfira mu Burundi.
as the country that received the refugees and again died in that country.
Hari visi perezida wa Repubulika Iharanira Demokarasi ya Kongo na delegation nini.
There was a vice president of DRC.
Hari abayobozi bavuye mu bihugu bitandukanye
There are also leaders from different countries
n'abavuye mu miryango yindi itegamiye kuri leta.
and from different NGOs.
Bafata amagambo bose bahuriye ku ijambo rimwe.
When they took a word, they all met at one word.
Babwiye abacitse ku icumu ngo
They told the survivors that
tuzakora ibishoboka mu bone ubutabera.
we shall do our best and justify you.
Abakoze aya mahano
Those who did it
bazazana imbere y'inkiko.
will be brought before the court.
Ibyo bintu byaremye icyizere mu bacitse.
Those words indeed created hope for the survivors.
Bumva ko batari bonyine.
And we felt that they are not alone.
Bumva ko bari kumwe n'imiryango ikomeye.
They are with strong
Bari kumwe
organizations,
n'amareta.
with strong governments,
Ariko imyaka 20 irashize.
that indeed 20 years has passed away.
Ubutabera ntabwabonetse.
There is no justice up today.
Kuko ibibazo byinjiye mu inyungu za politiki.
Because the chaos mixed with political gains,
Ariko n'ubwishanyi bwari bushamikiye ku bintu by'ivangura bwoko.
and even the massacre was associated with tribalism.
Nibyo bintu bibiri.
Those are the two things.
Ibyo bintu bimaze kuba
After it taking place,
twategereye kunangura amajwi abantu bagatorwasa bavuga ko bisha abantu.
people like perpetrators Agathon really announced that he did it.
Babivuga bashinyagura banaseka cyane.
They were laughing and jazzing about it,
bavuga ko ari byo babikoze.
accepting that they are the ones who did it.
Birashoboka
It is possible,
ariko nta butabera bwahabaye.
but there was no justice preserved.
Bo bataranabikoze
Even though they didn't do it,
bavuga babikoze.
they can even mention those who are behind it.
2014
In 2014,
nakiriye umuntu ku meza,
I received a person on a table,
umuntu w'umuyobozi wo muri UN
a leader in UN,
wari ushinzwe igisate cy'abari n'abategarugori aricyo twita UNIFAM.
responsible for that commission.
Tumaze gusangira
After having a meal together,
asa n'ubohoka cyane,
he was kind of free.
ankurura muri dosiye ya Gatumba,
He pulled me to the Gatumba case.
ambwira ukuntu yakoze za misiyo nyinshi mu Burundi,
He told me how he had
muri
many
Tanzania,
missions in Tanzania
plutôt, mu bintu byo gucura za mpunzi z'abarundi.
in things of repatriating the refugees of Burundian refugee.
Biba ngombwa ko aje gusaka Agatorwasa,
And it was worthy for he had to go and look for Agathon Rwasa.
abonana na Agatorwasa na Habimana.
And they had a sharing word with Habimana and Agathon
Icyo
Rwasa.
gihe bari bakiri mu buhungiro mu gihugu cy'u Tanzania.
So by then they were still refugees in Tanzania.
Aramubaza ati ese kufite ibyo urwanira bijanye n'u Burundi,
You're fighting something related to Burundi.
ziriya mpunzi z'abanyamurenge b'abanyekongo babahoye iki?
Why did you kill the Banyamulenge Congolese refugees in Gatumba?
Agatorwasa aramubwira ngo ikibazo cy'abanyamurenge
Agathon replied and said, the problem of Banyamulenge,
tukimbaze nti kinandero,
don't ask me, it is even not about me.
kibazo uyu Habimana
Ask Habimana.
niwe uzi amakuru.
He knows each and every information.
Tazi amakuru gusa,
Even beyond that,
yabonyemo n'amafaranga menshi,
he gained a lot.
yaguze za apartema Dar es Salaam.
He bought apartments in Dar es Salaam.
Uwo muntu amaze kumbwira icyo kintu,
After that woman telling me such a word,
yari elemasha icumvugo, kari akantu gasha icumvugo.
it was something new for me.
Noneho nawe ntiyakomeje ngo agere kure, yagarukiye aho.
So he didn't even go deep.
Arambwira ngo muze murebera n'ahandi,
He told me that even take a view from somewhere else,
buriya bwicanyi muze mubushakira n'ahandi.
go deep and request for the information of that massacre.
Kuko ayo mafaranga ntibayakuye muri za shitingi bariko batwika.
So the money, they didn't get it out of the tents they were burning.
Ni ukuvuga ngo ayo mafaranga yari ikiguzi
So the money was a price
cyo kwica abantu
to kill people
cyangwa cyo kwishyiraho ibyaha.
or naming themselves the
Zihari
sin.
izo zombi nta yindi.
Those are the two ways.
Umunsi abantu bapfa
The day people died
ibuvira,
in Uvira,
abasirikari bakora akazi kabo mu mugoroba,
the soldiers in their operations in the evening,
bahagaritse kamyonete yuzuye amasasu,
we stopped a vehicle full of bullets.
barayihagarika.
They stopped it.
Leti Nkumbuyinka niwe wari uhari. Nkumbuyinka
The late Kumbuyinka was the one there.
arayihagarika,
He stopped it
abazi ayo masasu ahayaje muri iryo joro,
and asked where the bullets are heading in this late night.
bamushyiraho puresha zo kugira ngo ayarekure,
They pressurized him to leave the case.
yanga kuyarekura.
He refused to release them
Bigeze igihe bashaka hava telefone ituma yarekura.
until they looked for a reason for him to leave that case.
Iyo telefone iraza arayarekura.
So the phone call came and he left the case.
Bishoboka kwayo ariyo yamaze abantu.
Possibly those bullets are the one that ended the lives of our beloved.
Abahamya bose baravuga ko abantu bambutse Rusizi,
The witnesses all claim that those people crossed the
barasubira
seas
barayambuka basubirayo.
and again went back.
Mu gitondo muri Sange bari bafite inkomeri batazi aho zakomerekeye.
In the morning in Sange, they had wounded ones without knowing the cause.
Hari n'inkomeri z'abasirikari twari tuzi.
We had the wounded soldiers we knew.
Ibyo byose rero
All of those,
birasaba ubutabera
it needs justice.
kugira ngo ubutabera buzingure icyo kirari,
For the justice to pave a way for
ibyo bintu bije hagaragara.
and the thing goes on a broad daylight.
Hari raporo wa mwana w'umukobwa wasomaga ururimi rw'igifaransa yavuze,
There is a report, a girl who read in French said,
ni raporo bita ngo ni raporo conjoint.
it is that report.
Ni ukuvuga ngo yari raporo yakozwe n'inzego zitandukanye,
It was a report uttered out by different
nyuma
departments
y'iperereza bayikorera hamwe.
after They did it all together.
yasohotse ku minsi 5 si 18 yasohotse ku minsi 5 mu kwezi kwa 10
It was out on 5th October
wa mwaka.
that same year.
Iyo raporo yakozwe n'ingabo za Loni zo muri Kongo zari zivuye muri
So
Kongo.
the report was done by the
Icyo bita
UN,
MONUSCO none.
what is called MONUSCO today.
Hari oni ingabo za Loni zo mu Burundi.
We had those from Burundi.
Hari n'igisata gishinzwe uburenganzira bwa muntu.
There was also a Human Rights Commission.
Urumva yari UN.
So it was UN.
Muri iyo raporo ku rupapuro rwa 4,
On that report, on the fourth page,
urupapuro rwa 4 rw'iyo raporo,
on the fourth page of that report,
izo nzobere ziremeza ngo biragaragara neza
those elites clearly say that
ko abari bagenderewe kwica bari abanyamurenge.
they were after those who are called the Banyamulenge.
Baravuga ngo abapfuye n'abazapfa bashyira biriya bikomere n'ibindi, abari bagenderewe bari abanyamurenge.
Though there are some who died, but the target was the Banyamulenge.
Ngo kandi bazize gusa ko ari abanyamurenge.
And they were killed just for the reason of being Banyamulenge.
Iryo jambo ni ikintu gikomeye.
That is a strong
Bazize
word.
gusa ko ari abanyamurenge.
They were just killed for the reason of being.
Ukomeze mucane,
Keep on writing.
utuze, utekereze.
In silence as we are thinking.
Ururumuri rufite isiguro ikomeye cyangwa se ibisobanuro bikomeye.
This slide has great meanings.
Ibi biravuga ku bwoko ntibwashira.
This says the tribe can't be ended.
Biravuga ngo twahuye n'ibibazo by'imyaka yose mwabibwiwe.
We met with problems all the years we've been told.
Ariko utekereze kuva kuri Kirumba n'Inganji.
Think from Kirumba and Ganji,
Gatongo. Ariko uyu munsi turacyari.
but today we are still alive.
Humure.
Be at peace.
Komeza ibyiringiro.
Stay with hope.
Ndabizi ko umunsi umwe
I know that one day
igihugu cyacu kizamenya ko turiho.
our country will recognize our presence.
Ukomeze mwibuke.
Keep on remembering
Twiyubaka.
as we are
Bana bacu.
ourselves, our children,
Ababyeyi bacu.
our parents.
Muhumurike mwarabyaye.
Be at peace with your
Bana bacu
God.
mukomeze kugira amatsiko n'amateka.
Our children be curious
Ariko
of
muharanire amateka meza y'amahoro.
as we're fighting for good history of peace.
Dushaka kuba mu mahoro.
We want to set peace.
Dushaka kubarera amahoro.
We want to grow in peace.
Dushaka kubyarira amahoro.
We want to give birth in peace.
Tukaba rero tubashimiye
So we are thanking you
kuri kino gikorwa.
on this act.
Tubasaba imitima yanyu kwihangana.
We are requesting us to be patient.
Tubasaba kuba